Salisbury Center, we are ready for our next fight. Making his way to the cage and fighting out of the red corner, it's Mike Handleman.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CageZilla 73. Fighting out of the red corner, we have Mike Handleman, 5'9", 163.8 pounds. This is a super lightweight bout, which has a weight limit of 165. He's fighting out of Westminster, Maryland. His MMA record is 3-1. Now, he's not ranked because it's been a while. He hasn't competed since, I believe, 2019. However, both these guys have quite a bit of experience. You know, I guess 4 fights between both of them as amateurs. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, for sure, especially in the amateur. Around amateur, especially if you could start getting a couple of wins going together, around 4 to 5 fights, you start thinking about transitioning to pro. And like you said, I understand he's been gone for 2 years, but I'm sure that 2 years is not 2 years away from training. It's probably just 2 years away from fighting.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, not for nothing, it looks like that's 4 years. It's 2023.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
How old do you feel? I feel old right now, man.
That's hilarious. You know what's funny? I think the pandemic took away so much time from everybody. In my mind, I just always erased that amount of time away.
You're not wrong. 2019 feels like it was like a year or two away.
Definitely.
No, that's a whole generation graduating high school.
Wow.
I'll tell you though, we were talking a little bit earlier about deciding when to go pro, and it seems like that in MMA, you get to 4 or 5 fights, and it's like you should have a legitimate conversation of, am I going to transition or not? Because at a certain point, you can only take so much damage, and it's not like boxing where there's a foundation built behind it. Let me throw it down to Chris, and then we'll get your
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Eddie Barker.
So what are your thoughts on that transition to professional?
Yeah, it's definitely like you said, especially when you start finding yourself fighting other guys that are either too little for your skill or where both of you guys already should be fighting at a professional level. Because like you said, we don't have these big padded gloves for our amateur career in MMA. The impact is almost the same as being pro. The amateurs for MMA, I think, is strictly just for experience. Right. It's for you to get the ring time going. It's for you to experience those losses where it won't affect your record later, to feel the jitters from the crowd. But once you feel like you have that, there's definitely time to start thinking about a professional career.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And with that said, we're going to introduce ourselves from the blue corner. Edward Barker, 6 feet tall, weighed in at 162 pounds, and 34 years of age, fighting out of 9 Realms MMA in Martinsburg, West Virginia. His MMA record is 2-2. However, he's making an even longer return after an even longer layoff. His last fight was in 2008 when he was just 19 years old, that is significant. He trains under pro Muay Thai fighter Josh the Berserker Thompson, and honestly, Sadiq, what do you think? Is this like starting over?
It might as well be, you know? Like before, I was saying the last fighter, although he was only gone for 4 years, he probably stayed in the gym the whole time. But if you've been gone for how many years? This is 19 to 34.
It's like 16 years.
Yeah, you know, like I'm
years.
sure a lot of that time was spent outside of the actual gym.
Let's throw it down to Chris to get the official call out.
Salisbury Center, this bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the CageZilla super lightweight division. It's brought to you by our friends at Freedom Bail Bonds of Fairfax, Virginia. Everybody loves freedom. And Mahana Fresh, positively fresh and positively delicious. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'9" and weighing in at 163 pounds, fighting out of CCK Martial Arts with a record of 3 wins and 1 loss, it's Mike Handleman. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 6 foot tall and weighing in at 162 pounds, fighting out of 9 rounds MMA with a record of 2 wins and 2 defeats, it's Eddie Barker. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the CageZilla super lightweight division. It is brought to you by Freedom Bail Bonds and Mahana Fresh, and your referee is Mike Dolman.
Mike Dolman, one of the best in the business.
Now,
both gauges closed.
I'm wondering, are we going to see Eddie look like a 15-year veteran, you know? Because you started fighting when you was 19, you disappeared and came back. Does that mean you're 15 years in? Or you did? Oh, that was a very close head kick.
Very close head kick. I like the inside leg kick.
Yeah.
He was a little stiff.
Yeah, very kind of stiff. The head kick literally missed by like half an inch, you know, so that was almost lights out for Mike.
But I like that response though from Mike Handleman, immediately getting in on his wrestling, trying to work through half guard.
Oh, now this is something we don't see a lot in fighting, is a lockdown from a half guard, you know, just because unless you're going to go diving in for a deep half to try to sweep, you're kind of just holding yourself in place and bottom.
It's one of my least favorite positions in all of fighting. Getting caught in lockdown.
Yes.
I feel like it just kills my IT bands.
Yes.
I don't know about you. It's just,
I think it all depends on how you're built, you know, because some people, you could have them in lockdown and it'll do nothing, and some people you have them in lockdown and they're literally ready to tap.
yeah, I think about it, and right now, there's some interesting transition work here. Edwards really trying to go to that right side, and Mike is like all the way over on the left.
Yeah, he's kind of almost forcing his like zero technique. He's trying to just muscle him over. Right now, he should be looking to push at the knees to try to shrimp out a knee escape or something, you know. But right now, he's kind of just flailing a bit. And that's a tight choke.
Yeah, that was it. He got it. He got it. For a second there, it actually looked like Edward almost had him off his back. He was arched. Mike was kind of falling over the top, but then it looked like he hooked the neck and didn't even have the leg set and was just able to kind of wiggle his way back down to secure the position and get the choke.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's one of those chokes where the choke doesn't even have to be that tight. The amount of pressure that's being put on your back, it's almost as if you're about to break you in half.
Yeah, that is quite, and it's where it is too. I mean, we were just talking about back injuries. That lower back arch is just brutal.
Yeah, and shout out to Mike, man. I understand both guys are coming off a long layoff. I feel bad for Edwards with 15 years, but that's a good way to come back. You know, you stay nice and calm. You got close to almost getting caught with a head kick. You got the takedown, got the full mount. He had to expose his back. He didn't have a way to get out technically, and he put the choke in. And watch how much pressure he puts on the back here.
Right there, yep.
Yeah, all that pressure. You know, at that point, it doesn't even matter how tight the choke is.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, you know, good show of sportsmanship from both guys. And an interesting thing, right? We were talking about it earlier in our first fight. Mike really secured the position. He held on and controlled. There wasn't excess movement. He really just settled his weight, and that prevented Edward from just being able to explode out of it and eventually led to the choke.
Yeah, and that's what you see. That's what comes with experience. You know, these guys know, hey, when I get you to the ground, I don't have to panic as much. I can take my time and move into more technical positions. The punches are there to help you get better position, not for you to freak out and panic about.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Sadiq. And again, a great fight from both guys as we throw it down to Chris for the official decision. Some slight technical difficulties, but it looks like we're ready to rock.
Salisbury Center referee Michael Dolman has called a stop to the action. 1 minute and 18 seconds into the very first round for your winner by tap out due to rear naked choke. It's Mike Handleman.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Handleman, our second bout of the evening. We will throw to commercial, and we'll be back here for the third bout on our return.